This video is about mixed quotients. Mixed quotients are big fractions made of small fractions. They look like this. And here is a method to simplify these mixed quotients. Steps to simplify mixed quotients. Number one, find LCD of the small fractions. You see that every mixed quotient will show small fractions. So first step, you find the LCD of the small fractions. Step number two, multiply by LCD that you found in step one, numerator and denominator of the big fraction. When they say big fraction, they mean this big fraction, right? So numerator and denominator must be multiplied by the LCD found in step one. And step three, simplify if possible, if needed, right? So make sure that your answer is presented in simplified form. All right, let's see how this works via this example number one. Suppose they say simplify 5x minus 2 over x, all that over 1x plus x. All right, so step number one, find the LCD of the small fractions, right? These two. What's the LCD of x and x? Well, that is just x, right? And then for step two, we're going to multiply numerator and denominator of the big fraction by the LCD that we found in step one, this way. Using the distributive property, 5x times x is just 5x squared. X multiplied by 2 over x, notice it's going to be 2x on the numerator divided by x. 2x divided by x, once you cancel x, will be just 2. So this will be minus 2. Notice how nicely the LCD cancels or eliminates the denominators, right? So numerator 5x squared minus 2x, just 2. And now let's do the same with the denominator here, x times 1 over x. X times 1 over x, notice it's going to be x times 1x on the numerator, divided by x, which is just 1. Right? 1 on the denominator, plus here, x times x. What's x times x? X squared. Okay, now you just make sure that this is in simplified form, which is the case, right? So then you just got the final answer here. This is it. All right, let's take a look at another example for you to see how this method works. So in this case, there was no need to go over step 3, right? Simplify, it's just itself in simplified form. All right, so let's go to the next example then. Suppose now they say simplify 7 over 8 plus 3 over a squared, all that over 1 minus 3 over a squared. Let's follow the steps. Step number one, you're supposed to compute the LCD, least common denominator, of all the small fractions. Look, this. Clearly, you see that the denominators are a squared, and a squared. So what is the LCD then? Remember, the LCD is the multiplication of all different factors. In case factors are repeated, like in here a and a squared, in case they appear with different exponents, you always take the one with the larger or greater exponent. So LCD will be a squared. Okay, that was step number one. Step number two, we're supposed to multiply numerator and denominator of the big fraction by the LCD that we found in step 1, right? So this times the LCD, this times the LCD. So now we're going to use the distributive property. So what is 7a or 7 over 8 times a squared? In case you cannot do these computations in your head, let me write them here. 7a times a squared. What is this? Well, once we place one below here, this becomes 7a squared over a, which at the same time becomes just 7a squared divided by a, right? So the multiplication of a squared times 7 over a is equal to 7a. Good. Now, for the next, what is 3 over a squared multiplied by a squared? This time is easier because notice this is just 3a squared over a squared times 1a squared. This is just the number 3, right? Or I could have just canceled this guy with this guy, 3. Okay, so this plus 3 here. Next, over here, a squared times 1. A squared times 1 is just a squared, right? Minus minus a squared times 3 over a squared. Again, if you cannot do this computation in your head, just write it out somewhere. And you will see that clearly this is just 3a squared. Once we place 1 here, this becomes a squared, and this is just 3. Right? So 3. Good. Now, there is no way to factor the numerator. Here the greatest common factor is 1. There is no way to factor this a squared minus 3. Notice 3 is not a perfect square. So it means that this is it. There is no need to simplify. It's already simplified. So this should be your final answer.